Hello there, my friends. Glad to see you all here. Hope you're all well. Stop the music. Hope everybody's doing fine. Just wanted to stop by, spend a little time tonight. Had some free time on my hands. So I figured I'd, catch up with you all, whoever's around. I know it's a Saturday night. A lot of people got cool places to be, a lot cooler than sitting on your phone or on your computer talking to me, but if you're here, I appreciate you. Let's see who we got. Gina, Rebecca, Brian. Greetings, my friends. Miss Raina, Melody, Jessica, Sans Serif, Rob Che, Vernon, Mary R, and that's what we got so far. Appreciate you all popping up. I mean, I know I've been like a straight up waste man on YouTube lately. I'm sure many of you understand and know the circumstances that my family and I are dealing with, so it's a little bit difficult to get into the groove of being a YouTube contributor, I'd say. Mr. Dan and Harry, greetings, my friends. I don't know if you're one or two people, or, I mean, that'd be an interesting name if your name is Dan and Harry. It's kind of interesting. Please explain. I'm curious, and I'm going to be wondering about that for a while if you don't say anything. But yeah, I have no idea. Well, I have some idea of what I want to do this evening, but I'm going to sort of leave it up to you guys what you want to do, what you want to talk about. If you want to just give me something to go on a long rant about and then just go to sleep and fall asleep to the sound of me talking about something, then feel free to go ahead and do that. I do have a couple of... Thank you, Mary. And yeah, I appreciate everybody with the kind words and the prayers and all that. I very much appreciate it. Brett, hello there, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, I've got a couple of, I think, stories I haven't read before. I'm so disorganized with my archives now that I don't know whether I've read stories before or not, so you'll have to bear with me if it's something that you might have heard before, but I'm pretty sure I haven't done these little short stories that I have prepared in case anybody wants to hear stories tonight. Julietta, hello there, my friend. Let's see here. Cool stories while you're doing your cognitive neurology report. That sounds like a daunting task, and I'm sure you're more than up for the challenge. Okay, so Dan is Dan and Harry. Okay, and your son is Harry. All right, and you got a channel about die-cast cars. That sounds like fun. I might check that out real quick. Excuse me while I open a window. Check one of those out later on. Rebecca, you say you emailed me a Skinwalker story. I don't know if I've seen that yet. Emails are another thing that I've struggled to keep up with lately. I'll have to look back into my inbox and look for that one. But I've got a couple of stories here that okay, it was a while ago. I'll read one of them in a second, in a couple of minutes, once I've given a few more people a chance to get in, because I know the feeling of getting into a story when it's halfway done. It's kind of a bummer. SM Gamer, hello there, my friend. Yes, please do resend that, Rebecca, if you don't mind. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, I hope everybody's doing well. A couple more people are popping in. Jeez, Mary, that's terrible news. I'm sorry to hear that. You lost your mom a year and a half ago, and now your dad is on the verge of passing. That's very unfortunate. I wish you the best. Unfortunately, I have a little bit of an idea of what you're going through. Tim Dog, Marco, hello there, my friends. Let's see. These two stories, I got one or two stories. One of them I might have read before. And stop me if I have, but I've got two. And other than that, I'm probably just going to play some Minecraft, because of how I feel when I play Minecraft is a sense of serenity, and that's what I really could use right now. I spent the last weekend helping take care of my mom. She's in really good spirits, but physically she's not in the best shape. So, it's just taking it one day at a time. I believe in her. And she's a tremendous fighter, tremendous woman, and I have every inch of my being believes that she is going to pull through. But she's got a lot going on, a lot of hurdles in the near future. But at the same time, there's a lot of family and friends and a lot of love to help get her through this time. Hopefully, that's enough to get her there. Let me see. I think I missed something. Anything about snake people in the Dominican Republic? Never heard of it, Brian. I can't say I did. If you've got something interesting to share, then don't hesitate. Yeah, there's taking care of family members is it's a privilege more than anything. I mean, not everybody has the ability to take care of their family members when they get sick, and I couldn't imagine being in a position where someone needed me and I was unable, for whatever reason, to provide the assistance that they needed, especially someone who's dedicated her life to making sure that I had a good life. So she deserves every bit of it. And I've got some other siblings that are contributing. She's got lots of family members around her, and she's a couple hours away from me, but I go over there every other weekend, it seems, at this point. LOA Blue, hello there, my friend. Nikki, what is up? Hello there. Greetings, and thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. Okay. Oh boy. Brian, you've been busy. You might have to check out your channel and catch up a little bit. Alright, so let me see if I can jog my memory on this. I think these are both sort of paranormal based stories, sort of along the lines of ghostly presences, apparitions, if you will. You'll have to excuse me for the blurry, the video's kind of fuzzy. I know that because I have it set to a lower setting, since later on I'm going to be switching to the gaming style setup, and there's really no reason to have it on 1080p if I'm going to be that small, so there's that. Alright, so I've got these are both ghost stories. Story 1 and Story 2. I'll surprise you. Which one first? 1 or 2? I'll leave it up to the chat. Story 1 and Story 2. They're both ghost stories, and they're both relatively short. You're just going to have to take a guess. I'll probably do both, but which one's first? So we got 2 votes for 2. 2 for 2. Do I see another 1 in there to tie it up? Alright. We'll go with story number 2. This one's pretty short. Let's see there. I'll put on some heavy rain, and then go into story mode. It's been a while. How's my volume, by the way? Make sure that's good before I start going into this. Somebody let me know if I'm sounding okay, if you're having to crank the volume all the way up to hear me, or volume's good. Hello there, Carla. Good to see you. D. Owens, hello there, my friend. All right, volume's good. Debbie, what is up? Yeah. Dementia, Alzheimer's, that's a whole other thing. That's goodness gracious. All right. Sorry to hear that, Debbie. All right, so without further ado, we'll get into this story mode. So story time, engage. So first of all, before I start this story, a little disclaimer. With this one in particular, the format in which I was given it was a little wonky as far as the perspective, how that goes. So full disclosure, just so nobody thinks I'm being misleading, I did have to alter a few of the details to make them a little bit easier to follow, because I really wanted to discuss the implications of this story and the content of the story with you. So if you're the person who submitted the story and you notice a few things change, it's only because the way you wrote it, it was really difficult for me to follow and craft it into a cohesive story. So you have to forgive me for that. But the meat of it is still there. So here we go. Dear Mr. X, my name is Martha, and I have a story for you. This took place in 1967, if I'm not mistaken. My husband, who was a member of the U.S. Army National Guard at the time, had been working long days so we could get to bed early. One evening, as we lay down in bed in our apartment, I noticed we forgot to turn off the light in the hallway. My husband was out for the count as soon as his head touched the pillow. Annoyed, I lifted myself up and stepped out of the bed, going to turn out the light. Once I got to the doorway, only a few steps away from the switch, I noticed something on the wall right next to me that made my skin crawl. The shadowy figure of a man, clearly defined against the well-lit wall. What made it more unsettling was the fact that the humanoid shape was at least 7 feet tall. The hall had no windows or objects that could have casted such a shadow. I began trying to call out and wake my husband, but I glanced back at the shadow again and again and saw that it had started to sway back and forth. Its feet were disturbingly a couple of feet off the ground. It's hard to explain the confusing feeling of seeing a shadow where your brain knows there shouldn't be one. My husband woke up and was startled by the sight of the shadow in our room. It swung back and forth as if it was hanging from a rafter or something. I flipped on the light above our bed, assuming the shadow would disappear, but it was completely unaffected by the bright light. Terrified, we tried talking to it. We asked, "Hello, who are you?" The shadow stopped swinging right after we spoke and faded away. I told my grandfather about the incident the next day, and he decided to do some digging, searching for information about the area where we lived at the time. Maybe he asked some of his old friends that had been there for a while. I don't really know for sure. It turned out that the land where our apartment was built was previously owned by a family of farmers a long time ago. The weird part was that the farmers had been brutally attacked and murdered by a group of robbers. For some reason, the robbers decided to string up one of the bodies. A man known around the area for his massive height. He was about 7 feet tall. That wasn't the only time I had an encounter with what might have been some kind of ghost. I was living in California and was home alone. Now, my mother had passed away just a few months prior. She died alone in New Jersey. It was all very unexpected. One day I was in the kitchen, washing dishes, when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I knew my boy was out, so I looked around, but I found no one. For some reason, I wasn't bothered much by the light, but clear feeling of the touch. Moments later, my son walks through the door and pauses, lifting his nose into the air and sniffing around the kitchen like a bloodhound. With an obviously puzzled look on my face, I asked what he was doing. He looked equally perplexed and told me that the place smelled like Grandma. I didn't realize it until he mentioned it, but I knew exactly what he meant. It's a very distinctive aroma of something like baby powder and roses, maybe, something like that. Sort of hard to explain, but it's certainly a sweet and pleasant smell. Maybe it was a perfume, I don't really know. But we shared a strange moment where it felt like she was there with us again. So, reading these now, this is Mr. X talking again, rather than the story. It's kind of strange that I chose this particular story, and even stranger that you guys voted this one to be first, because it features family members, including a mother that was lost. Something I hope not to be able to fully identify with anytime soon. But it's interesting that my mother is now, fighting for her life, and I'm reading this story. Just a very interesting coincidence, if you ask me. One of the things that I thought was really interesting about this story was the shadow appearing on the wall. And now that I read this, I do think that somewhere in the recent past, I did read this video, whether it was on a live stream. I read this story, whether on a live stream or if it was, might have been in a video that I uploaded. I don't know. These things all are starting to run together in my mind. Really struggling to keep everything organized, and when you go and back and forth doing all kinds of different things and working and taking care of family members and stuff like that, it's hard to keep track of this stuff. So I'm sorry if you heard that before, but it's still no less creepy or no less thought-provoking to think about the idea that imagining a shadow in your room that you can see is not supposed to be there. That must be a very bizarre experience. Nikki says, you have a natural aura about you that represents calmness and leadership at the same time. I appreciate that. That's a very nice thing to say. Zen 2011, hello there, my friend. Welcome. Hope you're having a good night. And I know I'm probably putting everybody to sleep because I'm so beat down lately, but I appreciate you all being here. There's a lot more people around than I was expecting, with another pretty much zero notice live stream in the middle of a Saturday night. Everybody's got stuff to do, and I'm glad you chose to hang out and listen to my stories. This one was a rerun, but I feel like the other one, story number 1, was not a rerun. I don't believe I ever got around to recording this one just yet, so maybe you'll be in for a treat on that one. And if you feel, I don't want anybody to feel bad if they do fall asleep. That works for me too. As long as you leave the video playing and give me a couple of minutes of watch time, I'm all good with that. Yeah. All right. Man, I love that. I love that sound of the rain. Maybe it'll rain when I start playing Minecraft. Be extra soothing. What are you guys talking about over here in the chat? Susan, hello there, my friend. Susan from Wisconsin. Never been out there. It's one of the many states I haven't yet to step foot in. Brian, you sent me an email. I'll check that out. I'm too pretty to fall asleep on. Well, that's nice to know. I appreciate that. LOA Blue, have I thought about doing a telethon type stream to raise money for my mom's treatment? I did that with my sister a while back, and it was pretty good. We got a decent amount of money for that. And Let's Read, while I was doing that one, Let's Read did his own. Somehow he got caught wind of what was happening with my family, and he proved himself to be a gracious and kind man, and did a stream and made a huge donation because of that. When that was happening, that was amazing of him. Can't thank him enough for that. Thomas Anderson, hello there, my friend. Thomas Anderson. It's the name of one of my favorite, the main characters from my favorite movie of all time, The Matrix. I believe that was his name. Yeah, I'll check the email pretty soon, Brian, don't worry. Yeah, this rain that you're listening to was recorded one night in my backyard. It was I need to get a new one though, because I was using kind of an old, sort of a crappy recording device. And there's a bunch of other sounds in the background if you really listen close. But yeah. Alright. Story number 2, or story number 1 rather, because we started with story number 2. This one's still pretty short, but we'll go with it, and then I'll open the floor up to whatever you guys want to do. We can discuss some stuff. You can ask me some questions, and even if I start playing Minecraft or something, you can ask me whatever you want. I'll still be looking at the chat and talking and discussing stuff with you guys. Man, I look really small, don't I? I need to start hitting the gym a little bit more. Aisha 1994, hello there, my friend. Or is it Aisha? Maybe you told me this before. Can't remember. I hope I got it right. All right. Story number 2 of 2. Engage. Good to see you too, Aisha. Aisha, that's good. They're both correct. You'll answer to both. Genesis 10, hello there, my friend. And if anybody slipped in or out of the chat and I didn't greet you, my apologies. I hope you can forgive me for that. All right, here we go. Hello, Mr. X. My name is Mike. The story I'm about to share with you took place on a Friday afternoon in 2013. I was about 21 years old and living in the state of Michigan. I had been spending hours and hours working on college applications and was in dire need of a break. I decided to go downstairs and have a chat with my grandfather, who happens to be the coolest guy you could ever meet. On my way, I figured I'd stop by the kitchen and make a couple of sandwiches for us to share. As I get to the refrigerator, I'm struck with this intense feeling of being drained. I feel extremely exhausted and lethargic out of nowhere. My body is telling me to forget about the food, and I drag myself back upstairs for a nap. As a side note, I've always had this thing where I see things happening hours, days, or even a week ahead of time. It sort of runs in my family because I'm definitely not the only one. That will be important later on in the story. I make it to my room and collapse on my bed, immediately passing out. But right away I'm thrown into a dream where I'm standing in the basement of my own house. Thunder and lightning crackle outside, providing the only illumination in the room. I look around me and my eyes catch onto the figure of a young woman, about 10 feet away from me in the corner. She looks to be maybe 20 years old, very tall and with long jet black hair covering her face. She is clothed in a white gown, and her head is sulking, staring into space, motionless. As I look down toward her feet, I realize that she's actually floating a few inches off the ground. The sight of her has me speechless for a moment before I whisper the words, "Excuse me." No idea why those words were the ones that escaped. My interruption causes her head to slowly turn to face my direction. I immediately turn to run to the stairs. I take one step and glance toward the top of the stairs, but she's already there, staring down at me with these large, bright green eyes. Like a deer in the headlights, I freeze, subconsciously trying to will myself to wake from the dream. I shut my eyes tight and I feel my legs begin to move on their own, walking up the steps one by one, inching closer and closer to the woman. Tears begin to flow as I move toward her, not wanting to look. Just a few steps away from her, my body finally jolts awake. I wonder to myself what in the world she wanted. It's certainly one of the strangest, most terrifying dreams I've ever had. I head to the restroom to splash some cold water in my face, waking myself up a bit more. Before I can even get back to my day, the same feeling hits me again. A deep, uncompromising faintness that hits me like a ton of bricks, nearly drops me where I stand. I struggle to reach my bed before my body shuts down yet again. I realize I'm no longer in control. This time it feels like someone or something is physically, though gently, closing my eyes. Fear sets in, as I already know where I'm going. My inner voice is like a prisoner screaming not to go back to isolation. I'm immediately back in the basement with her. She drifts over me, never touching the ground. Infuriated by her apparently trying to mess with my body, I ask her who she is, what does she want? I even ask her if there's any way I could help her. She offers no response. I decide to walk up to her myself. She remains silent and still. I lift a hand towards her face and hesitantly part her stringy black hair, brushing it to one side and revealing her glowing green eyes. I can see an unexpected, profound sadness in them, maybe even a hint of fear. Suddenly she throws her arms around me and hugs me, burying her head into my chest. In this moment, I feel like I've known her my entire life. I feel my body beginning to levitate off the ground with hers. I make a slight attempt to wriggle free of her grip, but it's clear that she's not going to let me go anywhere. Game over, I think to myself. Maybe I've fallen for her trap. I wake up confused. I figured I'd talk to my grandfather about the ordeal since he's no stranger to bizarre things. I cautiously make my way back downstairs and ask him if the house was built on some kind of burial ground. He says no. I decide to do some research on my own, and I find nothing. Still, I can't stop thinking about that mysterious woman. I feel like I've been chosen by her somehow, for some reason. I didn't see her again until over a year later, winter of 2014. I wake up one morning only to see the familiar face floating over me in my bed, her eyes gleaming into me. I notice that something's different about her. Her face seems more peaceful than before. A beautiful, warm, golden light shines from behind her, appearing to come from outside my window. I look into her green eyes and they turn into more of a human, hazel color. Tears run down her once agonized face and her mouth opens. She says in a nearly inaudible whisper, "Thank you." I reach up to give her one last hug as the light seems to beckon her away. She seems to be pulled away and flies out of my window, and I jump up to follow her all the way to the threshold, my own tears beginning to trickle down my face. Years have passed since then, and I don't think I will ever forget the woman with the green eyes. I don't know how or why, but I feel like I may have helped some poor soul make her way to the other side. Thanks for listening, Mr. X. Mike. Now that was a pretty good one. That was a good one. And we are going to discuss that one a little bit, more so than the other one, since I'm pretty sure I already discussed that other one before online. So let's see. I know I missed some stuff in the chat. Let's see what we got. Unknown comic, hello there, my friend. What is up indeed? Don't worry about it. Marco, you're good. Love the background. Susan? Oh, this old thing. I've been thinking about updating that. Who knows? Let's see. Aisha. I think I'm going to go with Aisha. I'm glad you enjoyed the story. Whoops. Let's see here. Yeah, this is one of the most interesting stories I've heard in recent times because there's a kind of a hidden narrative there, and we'll start with this. So, how was Mike getting to this dream realm? And it's not just any dream realm; it's his own house. It's a place he's already familiar with. He is against his will, and in bizarrely... Hey there, Lindsay Ryan. What is up? I'm glad to see you. He's going about his day, trying to make some sandwiches for his grandfather, and then he gets pulled into this deep, almost hypnotic, paralytic dream state where he barely makes it back to his bed. And before he collapses, and now he's in the basement, and in front of him is this just wandering, scary looking female entity with these glowing green eyes, and she literally seems to have pulled him there for some reason. I wonder how long she'd been there. Where was she? How long she'd been there, And how is she able to force him to fall asleep when he's just walking around in his normal day? So she clearly was, in a pretty strong-armed and a pretty terrifying way, capturing and trying to hold him. And she did that not once but twice. So I wonder if, and this is, we're putting our imagination, fantasy sort of hats on with this, because I try to be skeptical and objective about things, and I also balance that with being somewhat of a believer in the weird, and just at least being agnostic enough about it and humble enough to admit that these things could be true. Maybe we just don't understand it yet. But sometimes I like to just go full-blown believer and go into it and just pretend as if this is all exactly the way it's being perceived by the person who's telling me about these events. So from that context, if you think about this entity bringing Mike into this world of hers, or even, could be just the astral projection of the real world where he lives. Maybe for some reason she actually is down in his basement, or maybe it's just she brought him into a place that he recognized. But it was the fact that once he got over his lack of understanding and his fear of her, and he embraced her, I wonder if that was the objective, that was the thing that she needed. Maybe I'm just imagining a woman being cursed into some kind of hideous and terrifying form, but the remedy to that situation is someone showing compassion to her. I don't know how that would work or why, but in this bizarre, difficult to comprehend world, I can only imagine something being that, maybe she wasn't compassionate. Maybe that's how she looked on the inside during her life. Or, maybe that's the type of person she was. Someone who was not compassionate, someone who was inconsiderate and, only used people and looked out for herself. But in the afterlife, in her penance for that, living such a life, she was able to eventually come across someone who would show her kindness and compassion, despite her appearance and despite the fact that she was really just pulling him there against his will to use him to help her escape. Just, I'm just constructing a story within the story in my own mind. It's just an interesting thing to think about, because as he says, she thanks him. It's a year later, but somehow he sees this woman again, and she's become more human-like, and she is able to somehow transcend the state that she was in, which you have to assume was not comfortable for her. Nobody would want to be a hideous, floating, ghost-like person with glowing green eyes. I know I wouldn't. So, very interesting story there. Glad you guys enjoyed it. Dreaming of Post-Civilization, The Dot. Hello there, The Dot. I'm glad to see you here. Post-civilization, I don't know, I bet you it means different things for different people, because I was just talking about one of the most impactful dreams that I had, which was a post-civilization dream in which I was the last living human being. And I didn't know that until a giant wolf came to me and told me that I was the last human being. A lot of old school ride or die dreamers are familiar with this story, but what the heck? I'll explain it again, and maybe I'll be able to answer my answer of your question about this post-civilization dreams. So in this dream, if you guys remember, I wake up in the middle of this grassy field, beautiful grassy field, rolling hills, and I kind of am just below the crest of a hill. So I naturally decide to walk up to the top of the hill. And when I get there, I can see this gigantic city. If you ever seen the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith, the way New York looked, where it was completely overgrown, there were vines and trees growing out of every building. There were birds flying out of broken windows in skyscrapers. It was crazy. The entire place had been reclaimed by nature, and so obviously, like the dot asked, this is a post-civilization, human civilization type dream, and this as I was walking, I was approached by a gigantic wolf, and the wolf said to me, you're the last human being. You're the last human alive. So if we kill you, there would be none of you left. And I sort of, as far as I recall, I didn't really have a good answer for that, because if a giant wolf tells you that he's basically considering killing you for no reason that you know of, you probably should just not say anything. And he basically beckons me to follow him. So as I'm walking behind this wolf, he's leading me along, and I see all these different animals, including a troop of gorillas, like a family, and they're all grooming each other, and they're sitting, and I'm hearing this chatter that sounds a lot like talking, like language. And I asked the wolf, how are you all talking? How are you all able to talk? And the wolf turns to me as he's walking, and he, sort of in a semi-disappointed tone, says to me, just because we don't talk to you doesn't mean we can't talk. And I kind of really had, again, no answer for that, because he was absolutely right. It's pretty arrogant for human beings to think that we're the only ones who can really communicate with one another. And that's the way, or the only ones that can talk. And in the case of that dream, it was that animals could they could talk at any time in a way that we would be able to hear and understand, but they just choose not to because we're terrible. And I think that was is that really how bad it looks right now? This thing is really out of focus. Sorry about that. And I think in my case, when I had one of the many post-civilization dreams that I had, it was because of something, some kind of maybe subconscious observation that my mind was making, that it kind of made me reflect on what I was as a being. Like, what are you as a human being? Take all this stuff away, all the things that you depend on and rely on, all the things that you say, well, they're doing it, so I can do it too, or they're doing it, so it must be okay, or they have to do that, so I shouldn't complain when I have to do this. You take all that stuff away, what are you? What's left? And maybe that's what your brain is trying to get you to think about. So That's one answer. It's not the answer, but I hope I get you thinking about it. Yeah, Vernon Long says the phantom from the story maybe just needed someone to reach out to it with some empathy. Yeah, D. Owens, you mentioned that Beauty and the Beast. A similar scenario there. Yeah. Hey there, Brad. What is up, my friend? You got work? Well, that's all good. Go get that money, man. You're going to be needing it. Marco, I'm going on all fours and grunting from here on out. You're going to have to explain the context of that. Brett says, I think sometimes spirits just need to be acknowledged for who they were and not what they are. To find someone that can see their the true spirit beneath the appearance. That's a good perspective because everything is in the way. It's floating and it's in the basement and she's got this long hair covering her face, but once he moved it away, he saw this sadness. So that's a very salient point there. Raphael, hello there, my friend. Glad to see you here on the live stream. Pleasant surprise. Okay, let's see. Brett, just hearing your dream now. Brett says, just hearing your dream now, I've found a few people that had similar dreams of giant wolves being the one thing in common. That is interesting. I've always had a connection with wolves and canines, and at least in my mind. So maybe, I wonder, I mean, it's probably a very common thing to have a connection with. Aisha, gotta go. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. See you later. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. D. Owens, it's nature. We are all connected, but many times we fail to fully realize it. But when you realized everything was overgrown by nature, it seems to be cool. You see things from their perspective. Yes, indeed. I'm sure the animals can't wait for our civilizations to fall. Marco, you said you encountered death in a nightmare once. I'd like to hear about that. Yeah, I've always thought of the wolf as my so-called spirit animal. That's definitely a staple in my dream world. Okay, let me see here. Okay, I've got two ideas. We can get real sleepy and play some Minecraft, or we can play some either.io. Haven't done that in a long time, and just might be an interesting experience after all this time. Okay. So let's see by looks like I'm having some problems here. Alright, I'm going to change something around in my settings for a second. Alright, let me know if you guys still see everything. Alright, looks like I'm back up. Okay, good to go. Alright. We'll do a couple of these and then I'll play Minecraft for a couple minutes. Start a brand new world and see what happens. Alright, so, would you rather bathe in vomit or bathe in worms? Who's got a guess other than D. Owens? Vernon Long, anything's better than Minecraft. I disagree. Minecraft is an extremely serene and wonderful game. I absolutely love Minecraft. I haven't played it in a while, but it's definitely one of the best games out there. I don't know what people are doing with it these days that has everybody so pissed off, but it's a great game. Everybody's saying worms. Swedish Mom, hello there, my friend. Good to have you here. Welcome to the stream. Got another few minutes here to hang out. So, bathe in worms, I think that's decidedly what's going on here. That's what's going to happen. So, let's see how many people chose that. Yeah, 72%. Yeah. Just hopefully the worms are not the kind that can get into your skin. Just regular worms like earthworms, night crawlers. Okay. I dig it. Alright, next. No, who cares about that? Okay. This is an interesting one right here. Would you rather be the first killed in a group or the last? I think I'd rather be the last, because that way you're saving panic and anguish and pain of the other people in the group. If you're not the last one, then someone else is going to have to watch everyone else die. And that's pretty sad. You know, first, to me, first might be the kind of the selfish option, because then, you know, you get killed and you don't have to worry about anything else. I get it, though. I'm going to go with last. Wow, that one was really split. That's a pretty good split there. Wasn't expecting that, honestly. Would you rather live in the past or live in the future? And the stipulation is that you would have no knowledge of the anything other than the time that you lived in. That's weird. So I guess if you go in the past, you won't remember to go buy stock in Google. Yeah, I'd probably go future. I'm not interested that much in the past. Yeah, most people go future. You guys all chose future pretty much. I don't think anybody said past. Yeah, Vernon said I absorb the pain for everyone else. Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm thinking. Would you rather find $1 or read a book? That's kind of a funny one. Find $1 or read a book. I'd rather read a book. I mean, I don't like reading that much, believe it or not. Raphael asks, can I read my story on the live stream? I don't know which story is yours, Raphael. And stories kind of have to be prepared for me to read them. And I couldn't just go to your email and read it. But if you can, resend it to me and I'll look at it. I'll look at it again. I might have missed it or something. So most people would rather just find $1. Like, what's that do for you, though? Doesn't do too much. What? Would you rather eat your hands and feet or eat your whole dad? That's weird. Yeah, I'd rather eat my hands and feet than eat my dad. What about you guys? Eat your dad, I mean, maybe if you don't like him, you got your hands and feet afterwards, which is nice. Scarlet Witch, hello there, my friend. Somebody chose Dad. That's weird. Debbie, I agree neither, but you have to choose. No messing around with this game. Brian's World, I guess you like your dad, hands and feet. Yeah, I agree. It's a pretty interesting dream there, Brett. I'm going to say, yeah, Sans Serif, you probably would get food poisoning from eating your dad. Well, it looks like most people actually like their dads. That's good. Vernon, that sucks. Yeah, but would you, even if your dad is already deceased, I mean, that's still pretty nasty. Oh, well, good point, Scarlet Witch. If he's cremated, yeah. Jeez, you guys are really intense about your deceased dads. But hey, I'm sure if he liked you, he would have rather you do that than eat your hands and feet. So good on him for that one. Would you rather try to escape by... Okay, so you're stranded on a desert island. Would you try to escape by building a boat or stay there and hope you get found? Okay. That's a pretty good one. I think it's interesting. Stay and hope you get found. Obviously, it depends on what's on the island. Yeah. I believe all your dads would prefer you eat their bodies than maim yourself. So would you try to build a boat or stay there and wish that you get found? So I'm going to throw something in here just to make it more understandable. There's nothing on the island other than the materials to build a boat. So even if you wanted to stay on the island and just try to live a life there, you wouldn't be able to. There's no food. There's not enough of anything other than stuff to build a boat. So either way, you're risking death that way. You could try to build a boat and you could die out there in the ocean. Your boat could get destroyed. Or you could stay there and just wait and hope somebody finds you before you're done. Yeah. Yeah, I think Brian's got the best idea there. So explore the island completely. Make sure you've exhausted all other options. And if you have, don't wait around. Just go out and build a boat and try your luck against the sharks, I guess. Hopefully you'll find out. Hopefully you'll find a pod of dolphins or something to latch onto and freaking take you to the next cruise ship or something. Oh my gosh. All right. This is a good one. Would you rather chug 2 cups of trash juice or chug a gallon of milk 6 months past the expiration date? Oh my god. Trash juice or spoiled milk. Extremely spoiled. And that's a whole gallon. But at least you know what it is. You know that it's just milk. Either chug 2 cups of trash juice, which could be anything, or chug 6-month-old expired milk, a gallon of it. It would be basically like maybe like cheese on, there'd be a layer of whey, which is like water. There would be a layer of curdled cheese-like substance that would probably smell like feet. And then the bottom layer would probably be straight up butter. So Yeah, which, but the trash juice, you don't know what that is. I'm going with the milk. I'm going with the milk. I don't care. Mm. Yeah. 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 Oh, wow. 63% went with the trash juice. You know what's in trash juice? That could be freaking anything, man. That's. No. No. Okay. Scarlet Witch, you're right. I mean, if it was. Yeah. If it was 6 months old, it's almost cheese, pretty much. I am shocked that the trash juice won over that, because trash juice, that can be diapers, freaking used, all kinds of weird, nasty stuff. People vomit in their trash can and throw it in a bag and put it in a dumpster. No. Yeah, there would be a lot of bacteria in there, including the super survivor that killed and consumed all the other bacteria. Good, Mr. Anderson. Good call on that. That's true. But none of that is going to be as bad as dumpster juice. Guaranteed. Would you rather get paid to read every book or get paid to watch every TV show? Red or blue? Blue is to read every book and you get paid. Red is to watch every TV show. Talisha Bunny. I owe you something, my friend, and I've not been able to get through to you for months now. Hello there, Lisa. I don't think I saw you jump in there. When did you get in here, Lisa Galante? Talisha, you gotta send me an email about all that. I don't even remember what it was that you asked me for. You gave me a pretty substantial super chat multiple times, and I wanted to repay you on that with giving you some kind of custom recording or something like that. Which, yes, super chats still are a thing on this channel, but not asking or anything. Let's see what we got here. Yes, I know. I'm sure you've been busy. We can't really hold anybody to stuff around here on YouTube. It's so much going on in life these days. I get it, trust me. No worries, no harm, no foul. But I would definitely help you out with whatever it is. I still owe you, and you don't have to pay me anymore. You've paid enough. It's much appreciated. Yeah, there is quicker turnaround time for TV. That's a good point, Owens. I'm wondering, do you get paid when you're done with a book or a TV show, or do you get paid for the time you spend doing it? So let's say we're going to start over on this. You get paid for the time you spend doing it. So as soon as you sit down to read the book or watch the TV show, you're getting paid. You're hourly. You're not getting paid for every book that you read versus every TV show that you watch. So it all depends on what do you enjoy spending your time on more. Every book, if there's a fanfic that's a book, then you can get paid for that, my friend. It's all you're on the clock as soon as you pick that thing up. Sheer Cashmere. I've been taking care of my mom and just doing my thing. I do like watching TV shows more than I do books, but if I was going to get paid for it, I would go with watch TV. A lot of people are saying books, but yeah, I'm part of the Hey Jose, what's up, my friend? How's it going? Sans serif, dude, I'd be rich AF. I would too. I would also be very rich. If that could be my career, I'd be all over that. Easy. Okay, good one. If it was at the end of the world, would you rather throw yourself in lava or drown or drown? Throw yourself into a wall of water coming into the land of during the end of the world, during the apocalypse. What would you rather do? I'm definitely going to go with water. I'm not throwing myself into lava under no circumstances. Because what if you don't die immediately? Do you want to be burned from the toes up? Like if you jump, I mean, maybe if you jump head first and you just get flash fried immediately. But that's rough, man. That's rough. Yeah, I'm sure lava goes faster, but that has to be shockingly painful. Shockingly, for several seconds. I would rather drown. Wow. Yeah, your nerves burn away, but they don't all burn away at the same time. You got your brain, you have other parts of your body. No. Yeah. Just talking about diving head first into lava? No. What if the lava is only 2 inches thick and you just get splashed with lava all over yourself? No. Would you rather sleep on an amazingly comfortable bed that someone died in versus a bed of nails? Yeah, I don't think, whenever I think about falling in lava, I think of falling in lava that's not very deep. So you basically imagine falling into the lava and then it's almost like falling into a pot of grits or something, boiling hot grits. When people throw grits on each other and it just gets on you, it's like, that's torture. That's horrendous. Yeah. Carla Kirkpatrick says, bed with dead. That's pretty, very succinct, very short and to the point. I like it. Yeah, I went with water for that one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't just immediately yeah, I would go with the bed that someone died in, because I have slept in a bed that someone died in. You gave yourself a wound the size of a buckshot in the center of your forehead and didn't hurt at all. Yeah, forehead doesn't have that many nerve endings in it. But yeah, comfortable bed. Oh yeah, I love grits, but I do not want them to be thrown on my head or any other part of my body when they're hot. Would you rather wear an eye patch or have a peg leg? So, is that wear an eye patch because you have no eye, or is that... So I'm assuming they're saying, would you rather be missing an eye or missing a leg? Rob Che, have a good night, my friend. Thank you very much for the kind words, for the thoughts. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Yeah, hotels. Who knows how many people die in hotels, in the hotel rooms. I'm sure it's a lot more than we think. Eye patch or peg leg? So you're missing an eye. That means your depth perception is gone. That means your ability to have another eye is gone. Something happens to that one eye, you're screwed. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'd rather have a peg leg, because they've got ways to get around with a peg leg these days. And to be honest, the technology around restoring eyesight to a non-functioning eye is not up to what I need. So everybody wants to wear a peg. Yes, it says you don't need to be blind to wear an eye patch. That okay, this is funny. This is funny. People are saying you don't have to wear an eye patch over your eye, and you can have a peg leg. That doesn't mean that you're missing a leg. You can just own one. I could make one right now in 5 seconds, and then I'd have a peg leg, and this would be satisfied. But it's silly. We're going for the hardcore. We're going for the hardcore meaning of these things. Man, I'm surprised not a lot of people nobody's really left. This game, I've always been interested in with this game, but a lot of times whenever I start the game, well, back in the day, because I haven't done it in a long time, a lot of times people would just sort of leave shortly after I started it for whatever reason. There we go. All right. So would you rather be a hawk or be a shark? Hawk? Yeah, being a shark would be horrible. What do you guys think? Is there are you guys getting buffering right now? Let me know. Swedish mom, I assume you're saying in Sweden you get a peg leg for free if you lose your leg. That's pretty nice. Matter of fact, I heard of a guy that was that in Sweden? Might have been in Denmark, actually. Not sure. Yeah, Brian, I'm sure you would love to be able to go fly around the mountains whenever you want. Nobody cares about that. Wear a woolen bodysuit. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, no extra clothes are available, and you're not allowed to take off any clothes. You also will not die. So, would you rather wear a wool bodysuit in the Sahara Desert or wear a bikini in the Antarctic? Either way, you're going to be suffering. Typically, I would be all over the option to be cold, but in this case, I couldn't imagine being completely almost naked in the Antarctic for an extended period of time. That must be torturous. I mean, being in the cold on that extent is painful. Very painful. Yeah, you're screwed on both. In this case, I would have to go with the Sahara because then, it would be exhausting and it would suck, but at least it wouldn't be your whole body, screaming in pain. Let me see what everybody did, and we'll do one more. Yeah, that was a little bit of a toss-up there. Okay, so this is basically would you rather be able to only meow, so you can no longer speak, but you can only meow, but then you'll have 9 lives, or be able to talk just like you can now, but you die just like you will now, one time. So you're basically trading your ability to speak for having 9 lives. And you guys know I would never choose to give up my ability to speak if I had the choice. No. Yeah. So if you choose red, nothing happens. Marco says meow. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do sign language, and then you would live 9 lives. That's interesting. You'll be a human. You'll still be a human, but you'll only be able to meow. But that meowing will have conjured the spirit of some kind of cat-like deity, and allow you to live 9 lives. So say the lifespan is about 80 years. You know, I mean, depends on if it's like magically you'll just live the extent of 9 full human lives, or does that mean you will die 9 times? Are you going to get old? Are you going to be 150 years old and you'll die 3 times in the same week because you fell and broke your hip and then you're done? Or will you rejuvenate every time? That's an interesting thing. If I was able to, like, if that 9 lives would equate to like me living 700 years or something like that, I would pick the 9 lives. But if I'm just going to get old and die 9 times and still be the same age when I come back, then I would rather just not change anything. So, yeah, you'll have to really meow in a certain way. Maybe you can make a language out of meowing, for yourself and other people that are like that. All right, I'm gonna go with this one though. I'm gonna just not change anything because I think that what they're probably saying is that you can die 9 times in the same life, and then that's it. I'm not interested in that. I'd rather keep speaking. Oh my gosh. Would you rather be deep sea diving and your oxygen tank runs out, or bungee jumping and your cord snaps? That's hard. That's a hard one. Well, I will never bungee jump, so that's already out of the question for me. I also would never deep sea dive, but it seems preferable. Sheer cashmere. Oh man, that sucks. I hope you feel better. Have a good night, rest up, maybe drink some apple cider vinegar, mixed with some water, maybe a little bit of honey in there. Hopefully that'll help you. Deep sea diving doesn't really matter. I mean, you run out of oxygen, and I assume this means you die, you drown. Bungee jumping is faster, but sucks. I'm gonna go with deep sea. What are y'all thinking? It looks like a toss up. Bungee jumper. Well, not so much. Hey, my man Tony, the confessionals, run out of oxygen for sure, he says. I think me and you, Tony, we're the only ones who think that. Everybody else wants to get the quick bungee jumping thing. Okay, we got Raina and Brett saying sea. Swedish Mom says in the sea. Yeah, I don't think we're not playing these technicalities where it runs out of oxygen when you're right below the surface. No, you're gonna die. You have to. This is the will of the either gods. You could survive the fall, true, but not in this scenario. See, this website gives us the questions, and then I control the rest of the scenario. So I'm thinking, I mean, is it really? Well, if you're underwater and you run out of oxygen, then yeah, there's no gas for you to inhale, so you then physically cannot inflate your lungs. That is painful. But I also don't like the idea. I mean, what does that take? 15 seconds for you to lose consciousness? I'm not bungee jumping at all in the first place, so definitely no. I'm going with the tank. And everybody else wants to get the quick snap, dead, done. Okay. This is a good one. Would you rather have a beautiful lover that you are incompatible with, someone you cannot get along with, but they're gorgeous, or an ugly lover that you get along great with? You have great conversations, stimulating, great time, but they are not physically attractive to you. That's an interesting toss-up there. Good night, Debbie. You have a good night. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, my friend. Take care. Got 2 for ugly so far. Ugly being a very subjective term, not one that we like to attribute to real people. This is all hypothetical, of course. Yeah, everybody's saying ugly. So someone who's not attractive to you, but get along great. Vernon Long, I mean, I understand your perspective there. I understand, for sure. But if you're incompatible with them, I wonder how deeply that goes. So, could you have a sustainable and pleasurable romantic life with that person? If you're incompatible with them, wouldn't that mean that you're also incompatible in that sensual realm as well? Yeah, I would go with ugly. Let's see. Well, that was a toss-up. Let me see what people said. Looks aren't everything. They are, however, most of the things. Yeah, we'll do a couple more. Would you rather have Morgan Freeman? Come on. All right, that's not a real question. Would you rather have Morgan Freeman narrate your life or have, it says Chuck Norris, but I mean, is any one competition really? I don't think so. Moving on. Would you rather stay, okay. Would you rather stay in school for the next 30 years or leave school after the 2nd grade? It's pretty interesting. I mean, stay in school, you'll get out of school when you're 30. But, I mean, you're leaving in the 2nd grade. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn just through regular life, I'm sure, but 30 years, no. You know what? I would leave after the 2nd grade and just let the world educate me from then on. That's what I would do. What do you guys think? Yeah, Tony, I agree. 2nd grade, you can, there are other ways to learn things outside of school, and you might be better off in some ways. There's a lot of things that you learn in school that are not really useful in real life. So I get it. I'm curious to see who did that, though. Wow. Toss up. Yeah, you could get most of your education from YouTube, but I'm pretty sure that if you got your education from YouTube from the 3rd grade on, pretty sure you'd probably be the worst person of all time, or one of them. End up like Tay, that the artificial intelligence that they tried to have be reared and educated on Twitter, and it was pretty much destroyed. If you guys don't know the Confessionals, Tony, good friend of mine, super solid dude. Check out theconfessionals.com, and I think there's actually even a link in the description of this video. I saw it in there, but I don't think I took it out. Maybe I did take it out, but it's in most of my videos in the description. Super interesting paranormal-based podcast. I'm featured in episode 118, telling a bunch of my stories. If you guys are interested in that, check that out. And yeah, he deserves every second of the time that you spend over there. Super interesting conversations. Really great guy too. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Would you rather be in jail for a year or live in complete isolation in the mountains for a year? This is a really good one. And check is in the mail. that was a freebie right there, Tony. I'm not gonna have you show up here and not get a proper introduction. Let's see. Live in the mountains or be in jail. So if you're in jail, all your meals are taken care of. Your laundry is taken care of. You're in a secure place, although you could get stabbed or violated in some other way. And if something happens to you, you get injured or something, at least there's medical attention. In complete isolation in the mountains, you would have to probably grow your own food, figure out how to survive on your own. That actually sounds like a blast. I'm going to pick that. Yeah, most people did. Yeah, you don't have to deal with gangs. You don't have to deal with any shenanigans. Just by yourself. Yeah, Tony agrees. Sans Serif says, could you get a robot butler? No. Not for this one. Yeah, mountains might have wild food growing, but there's also things that think that you're food. Don't forget that. We got mountain lions. We got all kinds of crazy stuff that could be out there. Swedish Mom, have a good night, my friend. Glad you were able to hang out. And thanks for coming by. Would you rather fight Jackie Chan or fight Jet Li? I love both of these guys, but I love Jackie Chan more. So just for the fact that I'm pretty sure Jackie Chan wouldn't beat me up as badly because he's just too nice of a guy. And it would actually be an honor to be beaten up by someone who has been beaten up by Bruce Lee. Jet Li, I like him, but even if it's a fight, I'd rather fight Jackie Chan just to meet him. He's kind of a childhood hero of mine. Swedish Mom, you have a good weekend as well, my friend. Thanks for coming by. Yeah. Yeah, Jackie Chan is definitely my guy. Yeah, Tony says you would get to get beaten up by the guy that's making you laugh at the same time. Yeah, Jackie Chan, easy. Wow, kind of feel bad for Jet Li now. Put some more rain sounds on so clear up some of this dead air. Would you rather only eat breakfast cereal or only eat pasta? Oh my God. All right. So quick aside, guys. I know there's a lot going on. You know, my mom's sick and all this stuff. But some things just irk me anyway, no matter what else is going on in my life. So there's this cereal. Matter of fact, I'm going to look it up. Rice Krispies Treat cereal. See if there's any controversy going on here. So Rice Krispies Treat cereal. used to be the best cereal in the world. There's something strange here. You might notice when you're looking at the prices of this cereal, one of them does not look like the other. This one, I believe, is the one that I grew up with. I remember a long time ago, I want to say in the 90s, late 90s, Rice Krispies Treats cereal came out. And it was these delicious clusters of marshmallowy, crispy goodness. And I get them once in a while. It's kind of sugary, but I just once in a while I want to treat myself, right? Treat myself. No pun intended. But I went to the store the other day. This has become, I don't know about you guys, but in Florida, this cereal is pretty rare. It's rare to find it anywhere. And I found it in Target. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, this is kind of strange. It's different. On the box it said, new recipe, now with marshmallows. Rice Krispies Treats cereal. And I said to myself, you know what? This doesn't seem good, but I'm going to try it. And when I poured a bowl of it, it's just Rice Krispies with little flavorless marshmallow pieces inside, mixed in. And it was one of the worst cereals I've ever tasted. And I was heartbroken. I took a picture of it. I was going to do like an Instagram story about it or something, but I chose not to. Because it was too hard. It's too painful. And I know there's things that, there's people starving and stuff like that. I always try to dial my opinions back and measure my reactions to things when I'm living in a first world country and I can go out and get food whenever I want. I can turn on a faucet and bathe or drink water or whatever. But there's a little piece of my childhood that is ingrained with this idea of this cereal. And they've changed it. And it really just, hear that thunder that just played in there? That's what it did to my soul when I tasted how horrible this new recipe version of this cereal is. Very disappointing. So I should do like a freaking what do you call those things? Petition to change that back. Although nobody's going to give a crap about that. But I mean, if I could only eat Rice Krispies Treat cereal, the original one, not the new recipe, because it's disgusting garbage. That, Fruity Pebbles, shredded wheat. There's a couple other ones, maybe Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something. I don't eat a lot of mainstream cereals anymore because try to be more health conscious. Yeah, Trix. Yeah, when Trix really had shapes and stuff. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Now they're all just different colored balls, which is completely unappealing. Batman Returns cereal. I remember that. Hold on. Let me just see when did Rice Krispie Treats cereal come out? Release date. What? Okay. Or no. I said 1927. All right. Yeah, 1993. Just thinking about it. It just makes me feel good just remembering when I first laid eyes on Rice Krispies Treats cereal. I was like, what in the world is this? This is amazing. And now it's gone. Probably forever, but breakfast cereal. Everybody else picked pasta. You guys picked pasta, the vast majority. Well, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, pasta would definitely won with you guys, but it's not my problem. I want cereal. Would you rather live alone on a tropical island? Beautiful, easy living, as long as you know how to do everything yourself. Peaceful, nothing crazy. Or live with other people in Antarctica, where the thing happened. You know, I don't know if y'all ever seen the horror film, The Thing. I think there have been 3 different versions of it by now. The one with, doggone, what's his name? Can't remember the guy's name. What is the guy from Escape from New York? What's his name? Cannot remember. Kurt Russell. Doggone. And Keith David. That's the best. That's my favorite anyway. But, you know, Antarctica, you got aliens sometimes. Crazy things happen. It's a harsh, unforgiving environment. And thank you, Carla. Kurt Russell. And you'd have to struggle to survive, but you got a bunch of other people. Or the tropical island. I don't know. I think I would go with the harsh Antarctica. Although, I mean, I like tropical islands, but I wouldn't want to live completely alone forever. I wouldn't want to do that. That is pretty much a toss-up. Keith David is an OG. Voice acting as well. He's one of the lords of the voice, I would say. Let's go. Only use a Mac or only use a Windows PC? Now, I'm curious. Who here are Mac people? Who are using Mac or Apple devices right now as we speak? I'm using all Windows. My computers are all Windows. I don't do Mac. Confessionals podcast is obviously produced, edited, recorded on Mac gang, straight up 100%. Yeah. Hello there, Madam Raven. I didn't see you there. Yeah. Oh, so Vernon's got a hybrid setup going on. You're on an iPad, but you use PC. See, I could do without Mac. I could do without anything Apple, because I don't own any essential things that are Apple. Although I do like the iPad Pro. I have an iPad Pro. I'm going to go with Windows. But I know that you guys are mostly Mac people. D-Zombified, what is up, my friends? Hope you're all having a good night. Chuki L, what is up? I haven't seen you around in a while. Just coming, showing my face, staying, getting a little tired. Probably jump off in a few more minutes. But, glad to see you guys all here. What is Cray Super System? Sounds interesting. Let's do a Google search for it. It's a Hewlett-Packard company, huh? Doesn't look very appealing to me. Okay, paying nothing but singles or paying nothing but hundreds? You got to do the singles. All right, let's talk about this. Would you rather pay in only singles for the rest of your life or pay in only hundreds the rest of your life? Oh, I'm glad to hear that, D-Zombified. So here's my theory. If you pay with only hundreds, you're basically going to lose money for the rest of your life, because you can't, you're not, if they give you change, you're only going to be able to pay in hundreds. So unless, I don't know, well, let's see, if you got change, you couldn't spend it until it added up to 100. Okay. Also keep in mind the stigma of paying with only singles. Yeah, I'd have to say singles, because yeah, it makes you look silly, but you know, you're much more limited when it comes to paying. But I mean, what if you got to buy something that costs $1,000? That's 10 hundreds, which you probably will have, or 1,000 singles. Yeah. So maybe we can flip it. Maybe it'll go a little bit differently if you think about it like this. If you pay in nothing but hundreds, meaning you have to, everything's gotta add up to 100 before you can actually pay. You know, your whatever singles and bills that you have to add up to 100, and say it magically turns into $100 bill. You're sort of paying for things less often than you would, where hey, all you need to do is gather up whatever number of singles that you need and get what you need instantly, whatever you want. When you're paying with only hundreds, you kind of have to be more judicious. You have to be more patient. So I think I'll go with the hundreds. What do you guys think? Vernon says, my son is a fan. I'd like to get him on a live chat. I'd be so proud. Singles, by the way. Well, I'll be on for another 15 minutes or so. Oh, Sans Serif, you say fast food doesn't accept above $50 bills. That's another point for the hundreds, because now that's less fast food that you're going to be eating. So it's going to be healthier. You can go to Whole Foods and buy, $50 worth of, one hamburger if you really want to. And it's probably be grass fed, and it'll be all nice and organic. So you'll be a little healthier too. Yeah, no, going hundreds. Yep, we thought that one out. Never watch baseball again, or never watch football again? This is funny because I don't care about either of those sports whatsoever. What do you guys think? I don't want to disrespect any of my football or baseball fans in the house. Or in his house, as D Zombified would say. Oh, his mom won't allow it. Well, I thought I was a family-friendly channel over here, but it's all good. Please, Vernon, give your son my regards. Tell him that I said hello and thank you for listening, or whatever it is, whatever way in which he appreciates my work over here. I appreciate him, even if he can't listen to live streams. Maybe it's too late or something like that. But shout out to your son. Yeah. Yep. I don't watch either one, and would not miss it a single bit. But I do want to know what people said. Yeah, nobody cares to watch baseball anyway. It's boring. Even baseball fans know that watching baseball is boring. Chukiel, we love you too. Thank you. Alex, I've not heard Despacito. Not heard it. And I hope I never do. Okay. Live an extra 50 years or be guaranteed entrance to heaven? Guaranteed entrance to heaven or live an extra 50 years. So, if someone was guaranteeing you entrance to heaven, that means that there would be a heaven, and you'd be stupid not to try to get there unless heaven is not what we think it is and it's horrible or it's boring. Living an extra 50 years compared to a potential eternity in heaven, that doesn't make sense at all. This is a silly one. But, yeah, some people, I guess they just dislike the idea of heaven so much. They'd rather just live 50 years on Earth. All good for me. This one's stupid. Whoa, okay, this is a good one. Yeah, Vernon. Yeah, if heaven is real, I mean, if it's not real, then that question has no basis whatsoever. If it is real and the question is legitimate, then it's silly not to choose that. I'm actually working on a project, a story. It's original fiction, and it's going to be really interesting. It's already written. It features 2 different child actors, and it's going to be phenomenal. It's called Project Heaven, and I think you guys are really going to like it. Maybe I can help start recording it this weekend. Who knows? Would you rather win the lottery or live twice as long? Depends. Twice as long. Okay, and you age half as fast. That's pretty cool. Easily twice as long. I'm hoping I live to be 80 or something, and then that means I live to be 160, and then by the time I'm like 120, that's when I'll be like I'm 60, which means I could still be in shape and still be good to go. So you can live 120 or more years of pretty good living. I would definitely be down for that. The lottery you can't buy that. So you're saying there's a creepypasta called there looks like there are a couple of things called the Heaven Project or Project Heaven. I'm gonna have to look that up. Maybe I need to change the name of this thing. All right, let's see. I'm looking through this creepypasta real quick just to make sure it's not going to interfere with my idea. Okay. It doesn't look like it crosses over too much. All right, live twice as long. Everybody else wants to win the lottery. Whatever. I get it. Would I rather give a speech to the whole nation or have to sleep with tarantulas on my bed? I have almost no fear of public speaking, so I'll definitely go with this. But I want to know, is there anybody in here that would rather sleep with tarantulas than give a speech addressing the entire nation? No, I didn't. I haven't played Minecraft. It turns out that we got some pretty interesting questions here. So Carla, you're saying you'd rather sleep with with tarantulas on your bed than give a speech to the nation. Why is that? You have a really bad history with tarantulas, I wonder? Slept on a bed with black widows plenty of times. I get it. Black widows. Pretty funny there, Thomas. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We've missed you. Yeah. Yeah. People. Yeah. I would never want to sleep in a bed with tarantulas. That doesn't make any sense. Well, tarantulas are not poisonous, though. You know. Okay, would you rather go to heaven or hell, or be born into a better or worse life? So, whichever one is depends on how you lived. This one's really complicated because who knows what the criteria really is. How, if you had the choice to die right now and go into heaven or hell, how would you know that you made the right decisions? How would you know that you satisfied the requirements that it would take to get to one place or the other? I think I'd rather be reborn than take that chance, because although you could be born into a living hell, you would always have the next chance, the next time, the next life. Yeah, I think I'd go reborn. Wait, what did Carla say there? Give us a shot, Carla. I'd believe you. I can't speak for others. No one would believe you. What do you mean no one would believe you? Carla? Yeah, it looks like slightly more. That's a little bit more balanced than I was thinking, though. Honestly. No. This one, I just want to see what people said. They'd rather change their political party than their religion. That's interesting. That one's not funny enough. Oh my God. Okay, this is a good one. If you had to do one thing every morning, would you rather need to milk yourself or need to lay an egg? Every single morning, as soon as you wake up, that's the first thing you need to do. You just hop on the toilet and lay an egg. Or would there be a baby in that egg, or would it hatch? That's weird. Could you eat it? Would it be an unfertilized egg? That's really strange. Or would you milk yourself? Another strange way of thinking. Some people have to milk themselves every morning, you know, when you have a new baby. Can't say anybody's got to lay an egg every day, though. Yeah. I don't know. An egg. It's really creeping me out to think, okay, would it be an unfertilized egg, or would it just be an egg that could potentially hatch and have a human embryo inside? That is really strange. Yeah. Yeah, I've dealt with people having to milk themselves in many different ways, many different times. But yeah, and then where would the egg come from as well? That's another one. Man, I really don't want to have to express milk every day, though. I'm assuming the milk would come from my nipples, and I don't want to think about where the egg would come from. And just because of that reason, I would say milk. Wow, most people rather lay an egg. That's weird, because what happens to the egg? Do you just throw it away? Is there a baby inside? Is it freaking gonna hatch and be a little tiny person? That's really strange. All right, well, I don't think I'm gonna have time for Minecraft after all tonight, because it is almost 2 hours, and my spirits are lifted, guys. I very much appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out for a while, engaging, conversating. if that's even a word. Never really confirmed that. Yeah. Thank you guys for all the support. I wanted to say again, I love you guys. I'm so grateful and thankful that you all have, been here for me. You all show up even if I don't post for a month. You have all these words of support on my Twitter and on my Instagram and on my channel, on my videos. You guys are awesome. I couldn't ask for a better group of people to have the attention of. It's nice to see you all, and I'll try to do this more often, even though I can't. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of time to write stories and stuff like that. I am still trying to work. I haven't been able to write my own book in nearly a month since I've been able to sit down and actually write, because you guys know I'm writing my fantasy novel based on the Dreamer story that I did a while back, and I'm revamping it, and it's, to me, that's going to be the thing I'm putting the most energy in, because I really want that to take off one day, and I'm going to try to get it published once it's done. It's shaping up really good. I'm expanding it, and I'm really proud of it. And hope you guys will be there for that too whenever that comes around, because I'm going to need a lot of support that time. I'm going to need a lot of eyes on it, and a lot of opinions and reviews, and I'm going to say, hey, go check out my ebook or the audiobook or whatever on Audible or whatever the case may be in the future. Might be a year down the line, might be less or more, I don't know. But I'm going to be calling upon my Dreamer Squadron to represent when that time comes, and I believe there will be a great number of you that I can count on for that. But yeah, y'all take care. I hope you have the best weekend of the year this weekend, and if not this weekend, then next weekend. You got plenty of time. Hope you guys stay safe. Do the right thing. Be the best people you can be. Take care of each other. Hug your loved ones. You never know when's going to be the last chance that you have to do that. And I hope to see you all again soon. Love you guys. And take care. I'm Mr. X, and may your nights be full of dreams. Good night, my friends. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Hey, Chris, my man. Good to see you, my friend. We need to talk and catch up pretty soon. Need a code word for tonight. What comes to mind? Mind your business. What's up? Yeah, you caught the end. You caught the last minute or two of the stream. I was just about to turn it off, but I just realized maybe we should put a code word in here for people that come after the fact and watch the whole thing. I was thinking about eggs, because we had a pretty lengthy discussion about that. And yeah, egg. Let's do egg. Anna Corona, what's up, my friend? So, if you made it all the way to this point of the video, thank you. You're freaking awesome. It's pretty crazy that you'd sit and listen to me ramble for 2 hours, but I appreciate you. And to let me know so that I can see you, go ahead and type the word egg into your comment down below. Be creative with it if you really want. And once again, I appreciate you guys. Love you all. Have a good night, and I will hopefully catch you sooner rather than later. Take care, my friends.